We read a letter from a woman named Jenny Lane when it first became clear that this legislature was going to move forward on this issue. In an effort to try to give a face to the women that you are hurting by moving this forward. I believe her letter is going to be read here on the floor again, and I implore you to listen. Because there are people in this chamber who've lived through things you can't even imagine. I have a colleague who I was trying to encourage to tell his story, but he's still grieving. But it was a planned pregnancy that went awry and required a D&C. And I started to think about that, and I thought, I can't push one of my colleagues to share a tough story if I'm not brave enough to share one of my own. And so I'm about to tell you something that I've not shared with many people in my life. But over 20 years ago, I was a victim of rape. And thank God it didn't result in a pregnancy. Because I can't imagine going through what I went through and then having to consider what to do about an unwanted pregnancy from an attacker. And as a mother with 2 girls, the thought that they would ever go through something like I did keeps me up at night. I thought this was all behind me. You know how tough I can be. The thought and the memory of that still haunts me. If this were law then, and I had become pregnant, I would not be able to have coverage because of this. How extreme does this measure need to be? I'm not the only woman in our state that has faced that horrible circumstance. I am not enjoying talking about it. It's something I've hidden for a long time. But I think you need to see the face of the women that you are impacting by this vote today. I think you need to think of the girls that we're raising and what kind of a state we want to be where you would put your approval on something this extreme. I ask that you at least let the people of the state have a vote on this. Don't ram it through using some loophole that is going to impact 100% of the women in this state when only 4% of the people signed onto a petition. Let the people decide. Let the people of Michigan decide. I ask that my comments be my no vote explanation.